Guys, can you hear me now? Super sorry about this. This is not going to plan at all. So you just heard me, just viewed me there for a good 2 minutes. There we go. I see my audio. I can hear myself here now. Okay, super sorry about that. I'm sorry, I'll reiterate what I went through there. So, as I was saying, you'll notice I want to firstly apologize to everyone about the issues that we had. The stream, for some reason, YouTube wouldn't let me stream to the event, even though I had the correct stream key, etc. It just would not let me stream. So I was streaming 5 minutes before the event, and it just it would not work. You'll also notice today that I don't have my colleague Hassan with me. He's actually off. It's a public holiday in Dubai, so he's getting some well-deserved rest and relaxation. And I hope he's enjoying his time over there in some good weather compared to the kind of dismal weather we're getting here in Ireland at the moment. So we'll kick it off this week. We're going to talk about Minikube and kubectl. So Minikube is your local Kubernetes environment. You run on top of Docker to test Kubernetes locally. Kubectl is your Kubernetes command line you use on your laptop to interact with Kubernetes. So I think we'll kick it off with last time we talked about containers and what are containers. This time we're going to talk about Kubernetes and orchestration and why orchestration is necessary when bringing containers into production. So firstly, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is an orchestration platform made by Google to orchestrate your Docker containers when you're putting them into production to make life a lot easier, especially when it comes to new technologies. When you're building your applications, you're going to build them a lot bigger. Instead of monolithic applications, as we said, they're going to splitting into microservice-based applications where your application is split up into multiple containers, where they're interacting to each other through APIs in a kind of a loosely coupled architecture. So there are other options when it comes to orchestration. There is Docker Swarm. There is an Apache one, which I always forget the name of. And then there is Kubernetes, which is kind of the de facto one that people kind of go towards at the moment because it's the best for using it in production. And it's quite easy to use. As you'll see, Hassan has put up some really cool articles. If you want to look him up on LinkedIn, he's got some really cool stuff on kind of how to get started, how to make a dev dashboard he put up this morning, which was really, really awesome. I'm going to try it myself later on. It's kind of how to set up your dev dashboard with Helm and Kubernetes to get started super, super easy, super quickly with Kubernetes. You can do it locally, or as you can see below, there's a link to a trial, which you can get $300 free credits for the Oracle Cloud, and you can test it in production on a trial for free, see how easy it is to use in the cloud. And it's really, really simple, really, really cool. Definitely recommend giving that a go. That's where I'm going to try it myself later on. I've been doing a lot of stuff locally recently. I think it's time to try to ramp it up and go towards the cloud and test it out that way too. Orchestration. Why is it necessary? Well, it's just makes life a lot easier. Say if you have a big production environment, you have a big application or multiple applications, they're all split up into little APIs. You want them to manage them. You want to know how the networking works, the load balancing, but you want to do it as easily as possible, especially from a development standpoint or ops as well. For ops, you don't want to have to manage like thousands of little pieces kind of split up, all the networking, divvying up the ports, etc. Pointing, see where everything has to point to. It just, once you have orchestration, you have a high level view of managing everything, which just makes life so much easier. From a development standpoint, you just make the app and let the ops guys worry about it. I'm sure Hassan would kill me if he heard me say that. But yeah, it makes life a lot easier when it comes to orchestration. It just makes life so much simpler, I must say. So I think we'll go ahead now and we'll show you kind of how to get started with Minikube locally, and so you guys can go home and test it. I'll put a link in the underneath the video afterwards. And I have put up a Medium article of all the steps, which I'll run through now, of kind of how to get started, set up your Minikube, how to set up kubectl, and just push a small make a Dockerfile, Node.js server, just basically a hello world application, how to set up your Kubernetes dashboard locally. So I'll run through that stuff now with you guys. Let's pull up my, 1 second. Here we go. So you guys should be able to see my terminal now. So first thing we're going to do, you'll see this fail on my side because I already have installed, but we're going to have to use brew to install Minikube on the dashboard. So I'll run through this now. So Minikube, the main thing you're going to have to point it towards here is Docker. By default on Macs it runs on VirtualBox, but we're going to want to point it towards Docker once we start it up, so that it's working on a container-based platform. To make it nice and easy, you'll see this will fail now for me. While I'm talking away here, guys, do you guys have any questions around Kubernetes or anything? If you do, just ask them away in the chat, or if you're watching this video once the live stream is done, just put them in the comments below, and myself and Assam will either get back to you through the comments, or we will answer them in the show this week, next week. Just give you guys an overview as well while this is loading, what we'll be covering. So this is obviously setting up kind of Minikube Kubernetes cluster. Next week we'll kind of go into packaging apps with Helm. So Helm is basically scripting for Kubernetes. It's so good. If you guys ever want to try the FN project on Kubernetes, FN project is a really cool open source project. It's basically functions as a service. You can run on anywhere really. So I've tested a lot locally. It works. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, as you can see there, it has failed for me, as I said. But I just want to kind of run through the steps and show you where we go. So that was Minikube. Then the next one you install is you want to install the Kubernetes CLI. This is kubectl. It's brew as well. Yeah, the big thing to know is make sure you have brew. For most of this stuff, it just makes life a lot easier on Mac. If you're on Linux, you can use apt-get. Okay, now we'll curl the proxy just to show whether it's working directly without a proxy. So we'll open up a new terminal. Oh, that will not. Yeah, so 1 second. You can look at me for a minute while I try and fix this for you guys. Super sorry about this. I don't know. So we got the window capture. Yeah, cool. So basically, just to make sure we're on the right page, once you have kubectl installed and Minikube installed, you need to make sure that you're running okay without proxy, because depending on where you're running it, you might be running it on a corporate firewall, like in a corporate network where SSH is blocked, which is the case for me. So you just may need to edit it up a bit. Okay, it's actually showing the wrong terminal. 1 second. I was trying to. You guys are still seeing me, but this is moment is just a bit of a nightmare. I'm using an open source software here, and we've done some cool stuff too, but just make sure it works for you guys is the main thing. So you don't want. Here we go. It's like a classic development thing. It worked in testing, never works in real life. It's the joys of this, I suppose. Awesome, and we are back. Sorry about that. Where were we? So, we want to curl without the proxy, so we just curl basically an empty string. I'll show you this now. I pull it up for you. Yeah, so no curl specified, so I'll just specify URL for the curl. And yeah, working away good, absolutely perfect. Not going to need a proxy on the network I'm currently on. So we just need to make sure our Docker daemon is started. So to do this, we can just run Docker images, list your images, it is up and running. And we are hanging there, make sure it is running. Yeah, it is running as it says here for me. We don't, from my side I can tell it's running, it's just, I don't know why that is not pulling up, probably in the wrong directory, no my luck. So next up, as we know, we don't need the proxy, so we can just start it with the VM driver for HyperKit, which is for Docker. So that is starting my Minikube locally. If you look at the blog afterwards, if you do need it for proxy settings, I will put out the blog as I said afterwards, and you can see that I had to set up with the proxy then, if you need it. And it'll kind of explain, it goes into more detail of why we use HyperKit and that sort of thing. So then we just need, once this is up and running, we just need to make sure we're using the right context file just to show that we're pointing towards the right cluster with Kubernetes. So for this, we will use the Minikube cluster or config, because this is the config file you need to run it locally. If you are running it, say in the cloud, you'll still use kubectl like this, but you will just point to the context file for your cloud configuration. So these things do take time, which is quite annoying, as you can probably guess. But anyway, it's quite cool, quite cool. Once you get it up and running, we can kind of show you, it'll set up your Kubernetes dashboard. Once we have the config file set up correctly, it'll auto it, so that'll be on your local host as well to make it quite easy. I'll actually go ahead and I will put it in the comments now, the link for the Medium article, so you guys can kind of have a look at this for yourselves while it loads, and kind of see a step-by-step guide on how it works as well, which is quite an interesting one to have. To test it at home, it's really good. So that is in the comments there now, if you guys want to have a quick look at it. It kind of goes step by step the whole way through. You can test it locally, which is quite nice, and then you can also test it on the cloud. It's very similar. You just need to set your context file to point towards the cloud to make it a bit different. Obviously, your Docker will be running in the cloud as well, and you won't need to install Minikube for it. But we should be getting somewhere hopefully now. Yeah, I think we're making steps anyway towards starting Minikube on Docker. As you can see, it is quite slow. I will be running out a how-to video next week, which will just step through it in a slightly speeded up version of how to do this in about 2 or 3 minutes, and set up your dashboard, deploy an application, so you can view your dashboard and set up your application and show your application working, and how to set up a Docker file, or how to create your Docker file and run the Docker build. I know Hassan ran through the Docker file last time, but we never got around to doing the Docker build. So hopefully next time we'll have a set of videos coming up soon. Yep, so here we go. There's our Minikube up and running now on Docker. So that's a good start now. We've got that up and running. So from there, we will just need to use our setup to use our context file for Minikube. I believe I'm in the right directory here. Yeah, so we've switched our context to Minikube, as you can see, to make it nice and easy. So we'll just verify that kubectl is able to communicate with the cluster. To do this, we just do kubectl cluster-info too, and that'll pull up the info on your server and your master node. So that is quite nice and easy to do. So from this, we can pull up our Minikube dashboard. So it's just Minikube dashboard. Let me just show you guys this. So, just so you guys have it, I'll show you the dashboard now. Perfect, so you guys should be able to see that now. That is my dashboard. It's just quite, it's running locally, it's quite slow to load. So you can just show everything you have running locally on Kubernetes. That is killing my browser a bit, so I'm going to close that down now. You can see it slowly loading. But that is how to get your dashboard running locally for Minikube. Which is quite nice. Out from that, then we can, over that, we can create a Node.js application. I already have this done. I will show you the code. I'll just pull it up actually here in terminal for you guys, so you can kind of have a look. That is in my. Just make sure I'm in the right folder. Yeah. So it's the Hello Node. That is the folder, and I believe it's. Don't flag me from using Vim. It's just I'm pretty old school. That's a lot of people aren't a fan, but I'm just old school. So we just have a very simple JS application or server application. Code for this is in the Medium article which I've shared. So if you want to try this yourself, go ahead and do this. And from there, we just run node. So I'm just getting the wheel of death here on the terminal, which is absolutely fantastic. Server.js. Also, if you don't have Node installed, it's just brew install Node. It'll install the latest version for you. It's quite nice. So once you run this, you'll just need to open your local host on port 8080. So just in your browser, go to localhost :8080 / and it'll pull it up. I will just share that with you guys. And there you go. It's just a very simple hello world. That's all you're going to get from it. It's quite straightforward. So you should see that there. Once you do that. So from that, you just need to create your Dockerfile to push this to Kubernetes. So in the same folder, you will see I'll just kill this. My Dockerfile is in, it's just up one, I believe. Maybe actually I need to create it on this one. Sorry, I didn't create the Dockerfile. So we will vim Dockerfile. So for the Dockerfile, we're just going to, very simple, as you can say, we're just going to put in the node version we're using, so 6.9.2. We're going to expose the port 80. So from there, we're going to copy our server.js file, which is the one we created in the last part. And then we're just going to run the command node server.js, which is the exact same as we did before to run our server. So it's nice and simple. We're just going to save that in the file, nice and easy. So it's very straightforward. then when we are creating building the Dockerfile, this is really important. We just need to make sure that we are using the Minikube Docker daemon when we're creating the file. So to do this, we're just going to do eval $sign Minikube Docker environment, just to make sure we're creating this locally. So I think I have this done at startup, but we'll just do it again just to show you guys how it works. And then we just need to build our Dockerfile. So just do run our Docker build. It's just hello node as an application, and it's version 1. So we are getting exactly 1 argument. There we go. Okay, that's very strange when that is not working. Make sure we are in the Minikube. Yeah, it should be here. Anyway, the Docker build for some reason is not quite working there, which is quite frustrating. I will have to run through that myself later on. Anyway, this section, as we've seen, we've shown how to create a Docker file. We've shown how to create a Docker file. We've shown how to set up Kubectl and Minikube. We've created a small application, which is a slight failure there on the Docker build. We may have to fix that up. As I said though, I will put in a link. I will attach it to this. I'm running through a how-to video on how to set this up and work through it correctly. If you guys, you can run through the article, as I said, which I put in below. It runs through everything step by step, the whole way up, the whole way through to checking all your outputs for Kubectl, how to create your deployment, how to create the service, and if you want to, that'll be your service if you're putting into production. So you can check all your stats on that, anything, your events for Kubectl or your events on the cluster. I highly recommend stepping through it. It's really cool to do it on the cloud. Definitely recommend doing that. You can work away on that link, as I said below. $300 free. Give it a try. You've nothing to lose. It's really awesome. You can try some of the other stuff as well. If you want to try the CI/CD part of it, which is a really, really big, cool thing with orchestration and containers, so you won't have much downtime if you're using Kubernetes. You can use Worker, it's free. You can sign in with your Git, so if you push something to your Git, it automatically will deploy it. Once you have given it the green light, obviously, it'll deploy it into prod for you if you like. Definitely give all that sort of stuff a go. Run through the article. I would really recommend this. Next week we'll be back on Tuesday, same time at 11 AM. Hopefully working without a hitch this time, and we'll have the sound back. Should be good to see him back after some rest. He'll hopefully be on his A game, which would be nice. And so next week, as I said, we'll be covering packaging your apps and deploying them with Helm, which would be quite nice. Quite nice on the show. We'll be running through how to set up your Helm files and stuff as well, which will be really, really cool with some good examples. Yeah, we will also be packaging some smaller videos on how to get started. To be sped up. They're really easy, consumable. Take some time, give them a go yourselves. I really, really recommend it. And well, I'll leave it on that today. I'm very sorry again for the issues we had with last week's stream and this week's stream. Hopefully the corporate network is done trying to annoy us now, and we should be up and running with no issues from now on. So I'll leave you guys there. Have a great day and best of luck with running through the tutorials. And thank you very much for joining us. Bye for now.